and another effective one. Matthew breaks a tackle, breaks another, gets a block. There are no flags and the race is on. And Matthew goes 90.
Burrow with the snap. Here comes the blitz. Burrow steps away from it, throws, catch made! Justin Jefferson has it at the 38, racing down the far line, sideline, 10-5, touchdown, Tigers!
Another play fake by Burrow, and a deep strike, and an open receiver, Jamar Chase, another touchdown!
Daniels pulls it, takes it himself, he's got the sideline! Jane Daniels off to the races! And a bang back inside, he takes it to the house! 85 yards for Daniel!
Go ahead and say it, Ed.
Go Tigers!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of the Geauxld Standard Podcast. I am your host, Doe. This is your number one place for LSU news, updates, and unsolicited comments. And don't you ever forget, here at the Geauxld Standard Podcast, we love purple, but it is all gold, baby. Hope you had a fantastic week so far. Look, I hope you've been trying to keep up with all this news with LSU and the transfer portal. Looks like we're about to come to a close and slow down just a little bit with not so much movement, but there's still a lot to talk about. Before we get going, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the podcast, make sure you hit that bell and turn on your notifications. Make sure you share this podcast with your Tiger fans, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your auntie, granddaddy, grandmama, Papa Joe, Uncle Jimmy, whoever it may be. Let them know. Go check out the Geauxld Standard Podcast. It's the place where you want to be for your LSU news, updates, and unsolicited comments. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your boy has been beating the drum since the transfer portal opened. You have the undisputed portal king as your head coach. You have a certified gangster. You have a certified mob boss. You have a real G's moving in silence like lasagna head coach in Lane Kiffin. A natural born killer. Somebody who knows how to get the deal closed, who knows how to do what it takes to get the job done. And Lane Kiffin closed the deal with the most coveted quarterback in the transfer portal. If you haven't known, if you haven't heard about it, if you've been living under a rock, LSU has signed Sam Levitt out of the transfer portal, quarterback from Arizona State. He will be your unquestioned quarterback one going into next season. Now, who is Sam Levitt as a quarterback? What does he look like? Oh, Siri's trying to give me an answer. No, Siri. I don't need that. I don't understand. I know, Siri. I know. Be quiet. So just pulling up some stats here on Sam. So in 2024, last year he was fully healthy. He took Arizona State. They were projected to finish last, I think, in the Big 12. Ended up winning the conference, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely going to the college football playoff. He became a bit of a sensation there for how well he played in those games. That season, he was 216 of 350 for 61.7 completion percentage. 2,885 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 150 quarterback rating. This past season with Arizona, he was 145 of 239 for 60.7 completion percentage, 1,628 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 129 QBR. What I like to see, I would like to see that QBR, not the QBR, but that completion percentage get up towards 70, 65, 70. It should be good. A lot of that's going to be predicated and dictated on the pieces around you, the offensive structure, the offensive play caller, and we know how well Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss, Dane Stevens, and crew are at making offenses easy for quarterbacks. Look at what they did for Trinidad Chambers. Look at what they did for Jackson Dart. The thing that impresses me is that in 3 years, Sam Levitt has thrown 11 interceptions. He doesn't throw the ball away. That's really good decision making of not giving the ball away. That if you're going through the season and you have 6 interceptions, it limits the amount of times the other team can take the ball away from a quarterback position. So you like somebody that you're seeing somebody is just on the stats alone that just doesn't throw the ball away, which is a plus. You're seeing somebody that can throw for 3,000 yards, which you did in 2024. You like the touchdown numbers is basically 4-1 interception ratio when he's healthy and playing. And then another thing I like, this added dimension, in 2024, he had 110 carries for 443 yards. That's a 4.0 average for 5 touchdowns, long of 40. And then this year, 73 carries, 306, 4.2 average, 5 touchdowns, and a long of 52. So you got somebody that's mobile. You got somebody that's, I mean, he's going to be as athletic as you've had at quarterback, at least since Jaden Daniels. And I know that's not saying a lot because Garrett Nussmeier was a bit of a statue back there. But nowadays, I think the point has been proven time and time again. You have to have somebody that can hurt the defense with the legs. You have to make the defense account for, a quarterback being able to scramble, being able to pick up critical third downs, being a threat with his legs. Everybody doesn't have to be Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson, but you have to be a threat with your legs. And that's what Sam Levitt is. He's more than a threat. He's a problem with his legs. I actually like his legs. If you watch his highlights, the thing that I took away from his highlights was that he's actually running away from folks. I mean, there's a long touchdown run. I think it's that long of 52 where he turns on some burners. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he looks after the injury. How much of that speed and burst and juice that he does have is going to be interesting. But the thing that I find, and, there's a lot of people concerned about the injury, and that was the big hang up. I think if Sam was healthy, he would have been unquestioned the number 1 quarterback in the portal and player in the portal overall on any services. But I think the injury bug, the injury concerns do rear their head to where is he going to be healthy? Now, by all accounts, on people that I trust and people that I know and listen to, I think Sam's going to probably most likely miss your spring ball, which is fine because you have Landon Clark there. We'll talk about Houston Longstreet in a little bit, but you got right now you got at least Landon Clark, who is capable of taking all those first team reps or battling with another guy to take first team reps until Sam gets fully healthy. They're not going to push it. There's not going to be any reason to push it with the potential of what Sam Levitt can be. There's no reason to push him in the spring if he's not 100% healthy. I did hear that he's looking to be ahead of schedule as far as his recovery is concerned, so that is a good thing. Also, you have to have some solace and some comfort in how bad that Lane Kiffin wanted Sam Levitt. That means to me they have to have some confidence in the medicals, right? They're not going to chase after a guy that they aren't even sure if he's going to be able to play this fall, or if they're really, really massive question marks about is he going to be healthy, is he not? I just don't think you do what you've done to this point to get Sam Levitt. Now, let me tell you how gangster and how mafioso and how mob boss and how real G's move in silence like lasagna that your head coach is. Sam Levitt left LSU's campus middle of last week, I think maybe Wednesday, and went on a visit to Tennessee. We started to hear rumblings. This was when maybe Thursday. This was maybe when we knew DeMond Williams was out of it. He was going to go back to Washington. He wasn't going to get himself in that smoke. I don't think LSU really wanted the smoke of the national PR or whatever was going to come of that. So I think that was over and done with. So what Lane Kiffin does, Sam Levitt leaves LSU and goes on a visit directly to Tennessee. So Lane Kiffin hops in the PJ, I'm sure, whatever LSU has, I'm sure it's some sort of PJ, private jet, and goes to meet Sam Levitt at the Tennessee airport. Now, how gangster must you be, especially in Tennessee, a place where Lane Kiffin is public enemy number 1? He goes and says, you know what? I'm going to come to you. I'm going to get up from where I am. I'm hopping on the PJ. I'm coming to Tennessee to the airport, and I'm going to fix this situation. I'm going to fix this issue. I'm going to fix the miscommunication. Sam, you're my number 1 guy. I need you. I have to have you, and I'm coming to get you. Now, think of how gangster that is. We've gone from BK, somebody who was golfing all the time, it was more concerned with how well his stroke was. And now we got a grinder. We got a guy that's up at 4:30 a.m. at the facility every morning. We got a guy that's looking to prove a point. And I don't think the national media and pundits understand all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire for Lane Kiffin to be motivated to prove to you and show you why in year one he came to LSU. There's a reason that he left Ole Miss in the midst of a Final Four run to come to LSU. And I think the more and more that you guys have his name in your mouth, the more and more that you badmouth and the more you talk crap behind his back and then want him to come on your shows, want him to come on your podcast, I think you just add fuel to the fire of him wanting to show you and prove to you, I'm going to make this team a championship contender in year one. Now, I'm not beating the drum here saying LSU is going to win it all in 2026 because I don't think that's the case. But I think getting somebody like Sam Levitt, and I talked about this in my last pod, getting somebody like Sam Levitt raises the floor of what potentially your team can be. So instead of scrambling, trying to figure out, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, you got a guy, especially if he's healthy, you have a guy and an alpha at the quarterback position that's going to be a problem for opposing defenses. Guys, you all tell me the last time that Lane Kiffin had a quarterback that wasn't successful, and I'll wait. And we'll be waiting a very long time. Even if you want to go all the way back to USC with Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lindell White, that's all Lane. That's him. Blake Sims at Alabama, that's him. Jake Coker at Alabama, that's him. Matt Corral over there at Ole Miss, that's him. Jackson Dart, Trinidad Chambliss, that's Lane. Lane has no problem creating an offense that's efficient and easy and simple for quarterbacks. He's going to confuse the heck out of your defense. He's going to run tempo. The guy's going to be a problem as far as offense is concerned, guys. So I think getting Sam Levitt raises significantly your chances of being able to compete for a national championship next year. And again, I think Kiffin is motivated to try to go out and prove that he can do that with this LSU roster. Now, there's still things to be done. The roster is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They still do need offensive linemen. But another thing, Lane's never really had, can you tell me the last Lane Kiffin drafted offensive lineman? I can't. I'm sure there is one, but there's not a big name. There's not a 5-star out there anywhere. There's not a number one tackle out there that he's gotten. I just think it's something that his offense can scheme around, and you can scheme around deficiencies if you have that sort of head coach, if you have that sort of scheme, you have that sort of offensive coordinator that understands the flow and the rhythm of the game and can schematically design for the shortcomings. LSU's offense was so bad this season that we didn't even realize that the job of an offensive coordinator, some of it is to scheme around the imperfections that your unit has. And we didn't do any of that at all. We didn't do a lot of rollouts. We didn't do a lot of sprint outs. We didn't do a lot of things to keep our quarterback moving because we knew that our offensive line was going to be an issue. A lot of it was just Hut, Garrett takes 7-step drop. We can't hold up on the edges. We can't hold up in the middle. We get a sack. We get a fumble. We get an interception. We get a thrown ball in the dirt. We get an overthrow, whatever it may be because of the pressure. And we just simply forgot that the job of an offensive coordinator and OC and a head coach, especially a play caller like Lane Kiffin, is to say, where am I deficient? Okay, that area I'm deficient, let's scheme around it. It's what good coaches do because no team is perfect. Every team has a hole, especially when you talk about offensive line. I was talking to one of my coworkers about this at work. You can go through the NFL, college ranks, high school ranks. You may find 50 or below above average to great offensive linemen. NFL teams are searching for good offensive linemen. Ask the Bengals. Ask the Bengals, LSU fans. Ask the Redskins, LSU fans, or the Commanders. I'm sorry. Ask the Commanders about offensive line. Ask the Colts, who had Andrew Luck, about offensive line. David Carr. Ask him over in Houston when he got beat to death. So there's always going to be shortcomings on offensive line there's probably 10 teams in the NFL and college combined that have great offensive line that feel awesome about every guy, all 5 guys on the field. They think they're above average to great. It's just something that doesn't happen. So it's not this big LSU only thing that we don't have right now. We don't know who our 5 offensive lineman starters are going to be. And again, that's why you don't jump off the ledge and say, oh, yeah, this team's going to win the title. This team's going to be in the Final Four, whatever it may be. But going out and making a move like Sam Leavitt, it increases the floor of where this team could possibly be. Can you do more? Can you overachieve? Absolutely. You can go above and beyond with the pieces that you get around a quarterback like Sam Leavitt. But getting him and being aggressive on him lets me know that Lane is attempting to be competitive in year one. He's not saying this is a rebuild. You guys give me time. He's not pulling a BK and judge me in year 3. I promise you, Lane will not get up there and say, judge me in year 3, because I know the type of guy that Lane is. Lane's going to be trying to prove a point this year. And you know how you do that? You go and get the number 1 quarterback and the number 1 player in the transfer portal to let people know we coming. Use the Coach O thing. We coming. We coming. So I feel really good about where you sit in that quarterback room, going into the 2026 season. And again, are there some things that Sam Leavitt is going to have to improve on? Absolutely. Like I said, I would love to see that completion percentage get up towards the 70s. The interception touchdown ratio, that's fine. Again, you got to remember, all these stats are at Arizona State, where can you name another person on that offense? Yes, he has Jordan Tyson, who will be a first-round pick, probably top 10 pick. But other than that, there's just nothing on that offense to work with. They have a really good running back, actually. They committed to Texas. But apples to apples, when I say that, I'm saying look at the team around Sam Leavitt. It's not these 4- and 5-star, high 4-star, 5-star best players at their position in the country type of talent around him. You got guys that are kind of basically out kicking their coverage because they're overperforming. And that's how you get a magical run like they had in 2023, 2024 season, where they go to the college football playoffs and he's spearheading it because he has the type of juice and potential. He has the type of skills to take you over the top, to have you win some games that you aren't going to win. And look, sometimes in football, it's about luck. It's about just having a guy over there that just makes everybody else on the field believe we got a chance. And a lot of times that's half the battle. And he goes out there and he makes a play because that's all he's been doing all his life, is making plays. So feel confident that you have a head coach now that we know who knows what they're doing on offense, who says this guy is my number 1 target. I've been wanting this guy. LSU's been connected and linked to Sam Leavitt way before the portal opened. So you have to have faith that Lane has a plan. He has a plan in place with Charlie Weiss. Dane Stevens is going to get, the mechanics right with Sam Leavitt. And again, it's a huge if, and it's a big if, and I understand that. But if Sam Leavitt is 100% and can give you what he gave you at Arizona State, then LSU is going to be a dangerous team in 2026. You know they're going to have a great defense. We just had one this year, and now you got an offense that's going to allow the defense to rest, not put so much pressure on the defense. I bet you next year we don't have problems scoring over 25 points. I bet you. I'd be willing to bet whatever. I don't have much, but I'd be willing to bet you what I have, that LSU is not going to have a problem averaging at least 25 points per game on offense next year with Lane Kiffin, with Sam Leavitt, with the weapons you got out there, J.C. Brown, Trey Harris, Trey Wilson, Harlem Berry. Caden Durham has come back. Trey Green, possibly the best tight end in the country. You just got so much at the skill positions that make it easy on a guy like Sam Leavitt. We're not asking him to come in and be Joe Burrow. He doesn't have to come in and carry the entire offense by himself. He has to be a huge key call to the system. And that's what happens when you have a good offensive coach. We just need him to fit in the system. And he's a perfect fit for Lane's system because he's mobile. He's got a nice big arm. He's athletic. He can make things happen. And that's what you need a lot of times. Look at what we saw with Trinidad Chambers. A lot of it is just making things happen, improvising, being good on the fly, being able to make throws on the run. Look at his highlights. He's doing all that stuff. He's doing the off schedule, the off script plays. He's good at that. He can do that. And he can obviously give you a lot with his legs. And we know he can throw the football. So I think with the talent that you surround a quarterback like Sam Leavitt, who's the number one quarterback in the portal, who's the number one player in the portal, it has to give you a great feeling deep down on the inside that LSU can be competitive in 2026 and compete for a playoff spot. Now, before we wrap up, that leads me to Geauxld Longstreet, which I've gotten some questions about on social media. Look, and again, this isn't surprising to me because I told you guys that Lane is trying to prove a point. Everything that I'm hearing right now says that Geauxld Longstreet is still leaning towards signing with LSU. And that will mean the Tigers would go from flipping that room to having nobody in it to having Sam Leavitt, Geauxld Longstreet, and Landon Clark in there. And if you listen to my last podcast, you know how I feel about Landon Clark. And to tell me that you went from Garrett Nussmeier, Michael Van Buren, and Colin Hurley to Sam Leavitt, Geauxld Longstreet, and Landon Clark in 2 weeks. Again, guys, the portal king. He's the portal king. All hail the portal king. You know, LSU has a good chance to pull that off and just completely flip that quarterback room. Now, how could Lane pull something like that off? Again, he's going to play the best player. One thing that you're going to like about Lane is Lane's going to play the best guy. The best guy is not going to sit, because if it was that, then we wouldn't have Trinidad Chambers, because when Austin Simmons got healthy, he would have put Austin Simmons back out there. But he understood that Trinidad Chambers was a better player. He was hot, so he rode that hot hand. Now, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I say, Geauxld, Landon, Sam's going to be out for the spring. So both of you guys have an opportunity to come in here and get QB1 reps at LSU the entire spring. And guess what? When he comes back in the fall, it may be all bets are off. I mean, we penciling in Sam Leavitt as the starting quarterback, and I believe he'll be the starting quarterback. But what if you get Geauxld Longstreet and he has an amazing spring? What if Landon Clark goes out there and does everything that I think he's capable of, and he just blows up? Then what? You got a quarterback battle on your hands, which is good, by the way, which is great. But it just shows you these kids, they believe in Lane's system. They see it. I mean, how can you not see it? The success that he's had every stop that he's been. He can show you, he can prove you. He's never had a bad offense. He's never had a bad quarterback. It just doesn't happen with him, guys. So LSU is trying really hard to pull off that trifecta of getting Sam Leavitt, Geauxld Longstreet, and Landon Clark in the quarterback room together. And like I tell you guys with the portal, by the time you hear this, they may have already pulled this off. So it may be outdated by the time you hear this, but LSU Tiger fans, let me know what you're thinking. Jump down in those comments below and let me know, how are you feeling about LSU now that they have acquired the number one target in the transfer portal in Sam Leavitt? If Sam Leavitt is healthy, that's a big if. Let's say if Sam Leavitt is healthy, what do you think LSU's record could be based off the roster as it sits right now? What do you think they could do? How far do you think they can go? You know, give me your thoughts. Just let me know your thoughts down below. Comment, jump in there and let me know, am I crazy? Am I glazing? Whatever it may be. Tell me what y'all think down below. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. This has been the Geauxld Standard Podcast, where we love purple, but it is all gold, baby. Again, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell and turn on your notifications. There is no obligations to do any of that. It does not cost you anything to do that. And it just only supports me. So if you want to do me a favor, if you want to pitch in, if you want to know how you can help by liking this podcast. You can help by subscribing. You can help by turning on your notifications, letting YouTube know that you like my videos so they can recommend them to other people. That's how it works. So share this out to your friends, to your family, your loved ones, fellow LSU Tiger fans out there. Let them know that the Geauxld Standard Podcast is the place that they want to be, because it's the best and number one place for LSU news, updates, and unsolicited comments. This is your boy Doe signing off. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day, and go Tigers and play next.